Morning students, in yesterday's class we discussed the concept of series and parallel combinations of resistors. In today's class let us discuss some problems based on series and parallel combinations. Now the first problem is, this is a circuit given, so find the equivalent resistance between A and B. So and this is the circuit given, so there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 resistors connected like this. Now when a circuit like this is given, then let us see how to simplify this circuit. That means here we have to follow a method called successive reduction method. Successive reduction method. So that means first we have to look into the circuit where if there is a possibility of simplifying series and parallel combinations step by step, we have to look for that. So if you see this circuit and this end, there are three resistors of 2 ohm each which are connected in series. So this 2 ohm connected, so side by side connection is made at in this particular part of the circuit. So these three resistors are connected in series which are equal to 2 ohm each. Now first we have to simplify this part. So that means if you simplify this part of the circuit, so they are all in series. So the equivalent value of value of this part is 2 plus 2 plus 2, because all of them are in series. So resistance is R1 plus R2 plus R3. So that will be 6 ohm. Now after simplifying this, redraw the circuit in the next step. Now redrawing the circuit, you will get, so this is the circuit, so 2 ohm and this is 2 ohm and this value is 3 ohm. Now the value which we simplified is, this is 6 ohm, and from here you can replace this with one resistor that will be parallel with the 3 ohm resistor like this. This is 6 ohm and 3 ohm. Now next step, again see the circuit if there is any parallel combination or series combination. Now if you see here, this 3 ohm and this 6 ohm are in parallel, so we can simplify this part. So now these two are in parallel, the equivalent resistance will be, the formula for two resistors parallel combination is R1 R2 by R1 plus R2, that is 3 into 6 divided by 3 plus 6, that will be 3 into 6 by 3 plus 6 is 9, so it will be 2 ohm once again. So the equivalent value of this two resistors is 2 ohm. Now again redraw the circuit. So we have 2 ohm resistors and this value is 2 ohm again. Now finally we arrived at the last part of the circuit, that is there are three resistors each of value 2 ohm and they are in series between the points A and B. So now resistance between points A and B is equal to this value of remaining part in the circuit, that is 2 plus 2 plus 2, because they are all in series. So that is 2 plus 2 plus 2, which will be 6 ohm. So that is the answer for this problem. So this method is called successive reduction, where we have to simplify the series and parallel combinations in a step by step process, and finally we have to find the resistance across the 2 points in which across which they are asking in the question. So that is the method of successive reduction. Now let us discuss one more problem. Now this is the circuit given. So find resistance between the points A and B, and this is a 3 ohm resistor, 3 ohm, 6 ohm, and this is 8 ohm, and this is 30 ohm. So like this circuit is given. Now let us see how to simplify this kind of a circuit. Now if you see this points A and B, now see here this part between 3 and 6 ohm. Suppose if I take this point, this is A. Now I can write this point as A and this point also A. That means this is a wire connection, because there is no resistance, you can consider it as a same potential region. So this anywhere I can represent this point as A. That means nothing will change if I connect this resistor here. So that is what the logic here. So you can connect this 3 ohm here to the 6 ohm, because this is totally a wire connection. So now let us redraw the circuit by doing that. So here first, so let this is point A. Now how many resistors are connected to point A? So this is one resistor, that is 3 ohm. Next, this is totally a wire connection. So once again A can be connected So the 6 ohm also connected at A. So the 6 ohm and 3 ohm connected both at point A. Next, the 3 ohm and 6 ohm are joined together at this point. So let us join this point. Next, from their common connection, another resistor is there, that is 8 ohm. This is 8 ohm. Now if you see clearly, there is another resistor, that is 30 ohm between A and B. So this is point B. So between A and B there is another resistor. So this is point B, and another resistor is connected between A and B, that is 30 ohm. So you can connect that resistor in this way. So this is the redrawn circuit of this particular circuit. Now if you see clearly, these two are in parallel, 3 and 6 ohm are in parallel. So the value will be 3 into 6 by 3 plus 6, that will be 2 ohm. Now this 2 ohm, so again if you redraw the circuit, so we got this value as 2 ohm, so I can write it as 2 ohm. Next there is 8 ohm resistor. Okay, this 2 ohm and 8 ohm are in series, and again this 30 ohm is in parallel with the remaining 2 resistors. So this is the redrawn circuit. Now if you see, these two are in series, the value of this series combination is 2 plus 8, that is 10 ohm. So finally this resistance 10 ohm and this 30 ohm are in parallel. So that is final circuit. So that is 10 ohm and 30 ohm, both are connected in parallel. So now resistance between point A and B is the parallel combination of this 10 ohm and 30 ohm. So you can get RAB, resistance across point A and B is equal to 10 into 30 by 10 plus 30, that is 40. So you can cancel, so you will get 30 by 4 ohm. This is the answer for this problem. So that is how you can simplify the circuit. Remember here, so this is a wire connection between 3 ohm and 6 ohm. That means nothing will change in the circuit if you connect this 3 ohm resistor anywhere across this wire. So that means I can remove this connection and again join 3 and 6 ohm together like this, and again I can redraw the circuit. So that is what I did. So that is how you can simplify the circuit in step by step process, and this method is once again successive reduction method. So that is how we can find resistance for the circuits in the successive reduction method. Now let us discuss one more circuit for finding equivalent resistance. Another example. So find equivalent resistance between points A and B. This is the circuit given. So each ohm, each resistance is equals to 3 ohm, and another parallel combination of 3 resistors, each 6 ohm. This is 6 ohm, 6 ohm and 6 ohm. This is the circuit given. Now find resistance between the points A and B. So now again it is a successive reduction method where there are 3 ohm resistors in parallel. So the value of this part of the circuit is the value of one resistor divided by number of resistors, because if n identical resistors are connected in parallel, then equivalent value is given by R by n. So value of R is 3, number of resistors 3, so 3 by 3 will get 1 ohm. This part is over. Next, right hand side there are 3 6 ohm resistors connected in parallel once again. So value of one resistor divided by number of resistors, 3 ones 3 2, so you will get 2 ohm. Now this side 1 ohm, this side 2 ohm, which are connected in series, then 1 ohm 2 ohm are in series, therefore equivalent value is 1 plus 2, that is equal to 3 ohm. So this is how I can simplify. Next, one more problem. There is a wire of 18 ohm resistance which is bent in the form of an equilateral triangle. Then find the resistance across any two vertices of the triangle. So let us discuss this problem. The question is, there is a wire of resistance 18 ohm. Okay, so this wire is bent in the form of an equilateral triangle. So this is the wire having a resistance of 18 ohm initially. Now it is bent in the form of an equilateral triangle like this. So this can be this is equilateral triangle. That means each side of the triangle is equal to a resistor now. So because equilateral triangle nothing but all sides equal. So if you divide this into 3 equal parts, so each 18 by 3 will get a 6 ohm. That means each side resistance will be 6 ohm, 6 ohm and 6 ohm. Now the question is, find the resistance across any two vertices of the triangle. So let us find out the resistance between these two vertices. Now there are two resistors, 6 ohm and 6 ohm, which are in series, and other 6 ohm resistor is in parallel with the this series combination. Now let us redraw the circuit. So you can draw the circuit like this. This is the first resistor of 6 ohm and another two resistors of 6 ohm like this. This is point A and B, 6 ohm and 6 ohm. Now these two are in series because they are connected side by side. So the value of this series combination is 6 plus 6, that is 12 ohm. Now this 12 ohm is in parallel with the remaining 6 ohm. So that 12 ohm is in parallel with the remaining 6 ohm, and now you can simplify the parallel combination of these two resistors by using the formula. So 12 into 6 divided by 12 plus 6, that is 12 into 6 divided by 12 plus 6, 18. So 6 ones 6, 3s, 3 ones 3, 4. So 4 ohm is the answer for this problem. So here a wire which is having 18 ohm resistance is bent in the form of an equilateral triangle. So each side will have a resistance of 6 ohm because resistance directly proportional to length. So we know R directly proportional to L. So 18 ohm resistance is bent in the form of equilateral triangle, means all sides must be of equal resistance value. 18 by 3, 6, so that each side resistance is 6 ohm. That is how you can do this kind of problem. That's all. So in next class we are going to discuss some more problems on the combinations of resistors. And now today let us go to next concept, that is the temperature dependence of resistivity. Temperature dependence of resistivity. So the resistivity of a material, I told you it is a specific property of materials. So which is let me remind you, so that rho is equals to RA by L, and it is defined as the resistance of a material of a unit area of cross section and unit length. So that is the resistivity, and its SI unit is ohm meter. Now the variation of this resistivity with temperature is studied for many materials, variety of materials, and finally it is studied and it is concluded that the resistivity varies with the temperature according to a relation which is given by rho T, which is the resistivity at a temperature T degree Celsius is equal to rho naught into 1 plus alpha into T minus T naught. So this is the expression. So this equation indicates the variation of a resistivity with the temperature. Now let me explain the terms in the equation. So where rho T is the resistivity at T degree Celsius, and rho naught is resistivity at T naught degree Celsius, which is generally considered to be a reference temperature. Then the alpha, which is very important term, that is temperature coefficient of resistivity. Temperature coefficient of resistivity of material. So this is how. And generally for conductors, if you talk about only conductors, the resistivity of conductors increases with the increase in temperature linearly at some high temperatures, but the temperatures below 0 degree Celsius, the relation may not be a linear one. So generally it is directly proportional to temperature, but below 0 degree Celsius, So it may not be directly proportional to 0 temperature. That is why it is not linear at low temperatures, but at higher temperatures the resistivity of conductors directly proportional to the temperature of the material. So that is what the equation. Now let us define this value alpha, that is the coefficient of temperature coefficient of resistivity. Now if you simplify that equation for alpha, it will be alpha is equals to rho T minus rho naught, which is nothing but a change in resistivity divided by rho naught into T minus T naught. So remember the units for this will be per degree Celsius or per degree Kelvin. So because this rho T, this value is resistivity and this value is resistivity, units will get cancelled. So it will be having the units of 1 by units of temperature, that is per degree Celsius or per degree Kelvin. Now let us define the alpha term, that is temperature coefficient of resistivity. So it is defined as now let me redraw that equation, rewrite the equation, that is change in resistivity, let me write as delta rho divided by some initial resistivity into delta T. So you can define it as change in resistivity per unit rise in temperature of the material, that is delta rho divided by delta T, nothing but if I take delta T as some 1 degree Celsius, rho naught as the value 1 ohm meter, then you can define it as the change in resistivity per unit rise in temperature per unit initial value of resistivity of the material. That is what the definition. So it is alpha is equals to delta rho, that is the change in resistivity for initial resistivity value 1 ohm meter and change in temperature 1 degree Celsius. That is the definition of that is temperature coefficient of resistivity. Now in the last class I told you, in the previous classes some materials only selected for making wire bound resistors like manganese and then constantan and nichrome. So nichrome is an alloy of nickel and chromium materials alloy. So nickel and chromium alloy is nichrome material. So these materials are generally preferred for making wire bound resistors. The reason for this is they have very weak dependence of resistivity on temperature. That means even suppose if you take a manganese wire or constantan wire, if temperature is changing much, even though temperature rising in like a very large temperature change is taking place, but the resistivity of these materials will not change much. So they are very insensitive towards the temperature regarding the resistivity. That is why these materials are most preferred when making wire bound resistors. That is one important point. Remember, so they are very weak, they are having very weak dependence of resistivity on temperature. So that means even though the temperature changes are very large, the resistivity of this material will not change much. So that is what the concept. Now let us discuss how the resistivity varies with the temperature for metals. So in the previous class, that is a microscopic model of electric current, we arrived at expression which is a resistivity expression, rho is equals to m divided by n E square into tau, where m is mass of electron and E charge of electron and n charge density. N is charge density, that is number of charges per unit volume, and tau average relaxation time. Average relaxation time. Now because m and E are constants, so resistivity of material depends inversely on n value and relaxation time value. Now first let us talk about metals. So in case of metals, when temperature increased, so because a metal contains large number of free electrons, so these free electrons will gain that thermal energy and their average kinetic energy values will increase. That means if you take electron, this is electron, the collision time, that is the time taken by the electron between two successive collisions is called as average relaxation time. So because of more thermal energy, the speed of electron will increase, so that the collision takes place in very quick time. That means the average relaxation time will decrease with increase in temperature. Remember here, relaxation time decreases with increase in temperature. With the increase in temperature for the metals, because they will gain that thermal energy and their velocities will increase, so that they will collide very fastly, and then time taken for the collision will decrease. So now if you observe clearly, resistivity inversely proportional to relaxation time. So rho inversely proportional to relaxation time. As the relaxation time decreasing, resistivity of metal increases with the increase in temperature. So that is how, so you can write resistivity is directly proportional to temperature for metals. So with increase in temperature, relaxation time decreases, so that the resistivity will increase for the metals. That is why the electrical appliances which we are using contains many metallic wire connections will get heated up after using some time, because of this reason, because resistivity directly proportional to temperature. So by using when we use them for long times, the resistance of the material will keep on increasing because of this reason. Temperature and resistivity directly proportional to each other for metals. And you may ask a question, why, what about this N? So in metals the charge density almost remains same at a given temperature. So here resistivity and means this N value will not change much in case of metals with increase in temperature. That is why need not to talk about this N value in case of metals. So you can say resistivity inversely proportional to relaxation time in case of metals. As relaxation time is decreasing, resistivity will increase. That is the concept, that is variation of resistivity with the temperature for metals. Now let us see what happens in case of semiconductors. So in case of semiconductors, so when because semiconductors are covalently bonded crystals, when temperature increases, the number of charges per unit volume, this N value will increase much. So here rho inversely proportional to N. So in this case, in case of semiconductors, when temperature increases, the charge density will increase in the material, so resistivity will decrease. So as N increases with the temperature, resistivity of semiconductor decreases with the temperature. That is how the semiconductor's resistivity depends on temperature. So it is quite a reverse. So in case of metals, resistivity directly proportional to temperature, whereas in case of the semiconductors, it is not increasing with temperature, instead it is decreasing with temperature. Now if you talk about that value, that is temperature coefficient of resistance, so this alpha value is positive for metals, whereas this alpha value is negative for semiconductors. So that is what the conclusion you can give, because this alpha is given by change in resistivity per unit original resistivity into rise in temperature. So because for metals resistivity increases with increase in temperature, so delta rho will be positive, so alpha will be positive. In case of semiconductors, resistivity decrease with temperature, so this delta value will be negative, so that alpha will be negative. So that is what the conclusion of this particular concept. So remember the definition and this variation of resistivity with temperature for different metals, and mainly the materials manganese, constantan and nichrome, why they are preferred in making the standard resistors, and the reason is they are having very weak dependence of resistivity on temperature. That is the concept. Now let us see temperature dependence of resistance. Next concept is a variation of resistance with temperature. Variation of resistance with temperature. So we know that resistance and resistivity directly proportional to each other. That means R is equals to rho L by A. We already studied this equation. So R depends directly on resistivity. As resistivity increasing depending on temperature, so resistance also depends on temperature. Now for conductors, the variation of resistance with the temperature is given by R is equals to R naught into 1 plus alpha into T. So where R is resistance of material, R is resistance of material at T degree Celsius, and R naught is resistance at 0 degree Celsius. I told you in the previous equation that is a T minus T naught I took there, but here I am taking 0 because that reference temperature I am taking it as 0 degree Celsius in this case. So T naught is reference temperature which is equal to 0. So the equation R naught into 1 plus alpha into T minus 0. So that is why it is R naught into 1 plus alpha T. So this is the equation which represents the variation of resistance with temperature. Now alpha is nothing but once again the temperature coefficient of resistance. So here alpha is temperature coefficient of resistance. Temperature coefficient of resistance. Again the units are per degree Celsius or per degree Kelvin. That is the value. Remember in that case we called it as temperature coefficient of resistivity, and here it is temperature coefficient of resistance. Now let us define alpha once again. So alpha can be obtained as from this will be R minus R naught divided by R naught into delta T, or you can say T, R naught into T, because the reference temperature is 0 degree Celsius. So this is expression for the coefficient of temperature coefficient of resistance. So it's nothing but change in resistance per unit original resistance per unit rise in temperature. If I take denominator both equal to 1, that is R naught is equal to 1 ohm and T is equals to 1 degree Celsius. It means it is a change in resistance per unit rise in temperature for a material having 1 ohm resistance at 0 degree Celsius. That means what is R naught value here? It is resistance at 0 degree Celsius. Suppose if its value is 1 ohm, and if you raise the temperature by 1 degree Celsius, then how much resistance is changing? That value is equal to the temperature coefficient of resistance of that material. That is the definition of alpha. Now let us see some other formulas related to this alpha. Generally in NEET exam the questions related to alpha will be asking. So by giving two resistance values and two temperature values. So if two resistance values and two temperatures given, let us see how to find out this alpha value. So now take the equation. So that is R is equals to R naught into 1 plus alpha into T. Now if resistance of material is R1 ohm at a temperature T1 degree Celsius and it is R2 ohm at a temperature T2 degree Celsius, then for this you write one equation for R1, that is equals to R naught, because R naught is a reference temperature, it remains same, R naught into 1 plus alpha T1. Similarly for second temperature resistance R2 is equal to 1 R naught into 1 plus alpha T2. Now dividing these equations, let us get another expression for the alpha. That is dividing both equations, R1 by R2 is equal to this side R naught will get cancelled. You can write 1 plus alpha T1 divided by 1 plus alpha T2. Now solve it for alpha, you will get, so cross multiplying you will get R1 plus R1 alpha T2, that is equals to R2 plus R2 alpha T1. Now take alpha terms one side, so this can take alpha common, so R1 T2 minus R2 T1 is equal to this, R1 becomes minus, so R2 minus R1. That implies if you solve it for alpha, then alpha is equal to R2 minus R1, R2 minus R1 divided by R1 T2 minus R2 T1. This is the expression for coefficient of temperature coefficient of resistance in terms of two resistance values and two temperature values. So this is another formula. So R2 minus R1 divided by R1 T2 minus R2 T1. So that is the concept. So in some problems there is another formula for calculating alpha. Sometimes the resistance in terms of temperature will be given. So in such cases the alpha expression can be, so we know alpha is equals to RT minus R minus R naught by R naught into T. So this is general formula that we discussed. But if resistance is given as a function of temperature, in such problems you can use this formula for alpha. Alpha is equals to 1 by R into dr by dt, dr by dt. So if resistance is given as a function of temperature, differentiate that function with respect to temperature. Remember here T is temperature, not time, so be careful with that. So 1 by given resistance into differentiation of resistance with temperature, you will get the alpha value. So this is another formula for calculating the temperature coefficient of resistance. Now let us discuss some problems based on the coefficient of the temperature coefficient of resistance and these formulas. Now the first problem related to the temperature coefficient of resistance is this one. So the resistance of a wire at 100 degrees Celsius is 2.5 ohm and its temperature coefficient of resistance is 3.6 into 10 power minus 3 per degree Celsius. Find the resistance at 0 degree Celsius, that is R naught value. So now let us find out this. So we know that RT, that is R is equals to R naught into 1 plus alpha into T. So we want this R naught value. So then R naught, that is resistance at 0 degree Celsius, is equal to R divided by 1 plus alpha into T. Now substituting the given values, that is R value is given as 2.5 ohm, 2.5 divided by 1 plus alpha value 3.6 into 10 power minus 3 into T value is 100 degree Celsius. Now simplifying this, you will get 2.5 divided by 1 plus, so 10 power minus 3 into 10 power 2, you will get 10 power minus 1. So it will be 3.6 into 0.1, so it will be 0.36. So this will be 2.5 divided by 1.36. So calculating this, you will get the value of resistance as 1.83 ohm, that is the resistance at 0 degree Celsius for the given wire is 1.83 ohm. So this is the first problem. Now let us see the second problem, that is resistance of a wire at a temperature T is given by R, that is a function of temperature given. So I am mentioning it as R of T, that is equals to R naught into 1 plus AT plus BT square, 1 plus AT plus BT square. Now find the temperature coefficient of resistance at temperature T degree Celsius, that is the question. So here find alpha at temperature T. Now let us do it. So I told you alpha expression when resistance is given as the function of temperature, that is alpha is equals to 1 by R into differentiation of R with respect to temperature. So dr by dt. Remember here dr by dt nothing but change in resistance with respect to temperature, because here it is given as a function of temperature. Now so that is given R value, R is equals to R naught into 1 plus AT plus BT square. This is the given resistance. Now alpha is equal to 1 by R value is R naught into 1 plus AT plus BT square. This is 1 by R into dr by dt. So, dr by dt differentiation of R with respect to temperature, that is 1 plus AT plus BT square. Now, differentiating you will get so here, sorry, I forgot R naught here. So, this is R naught. Now, this R naught will get cancelled, will be 1 by 1 plus AT plus BT square into differentiation of that function. Differentiation of 1 is 0 plus differentiation of AT is A plus differentiation of BT square is nothing but 2 BT. So, 2 B into T. So, now the alpha value is equals to A plus 2 BT divided by 1 plus AT plus B T square. So, this is expression for the temperature coefficient of resistance in terms of temperature, that is A plus 2 BT divided by 1 plus AT plus BT square, like this. So, when resistance is given as a function of temperature, if you want to find alpha value, just follow this method. Alpha is equals to 1 by given resistance into differentiation of R with respect to temperature, you will get the required answer. Now, let us discuss one more problem. This is the question. The values are the resistance of material, let us say R1 is equals to 2.1 ohm at 27.5 degree Celsius. So, first one resistor and temperature is given. Next for the same material, resistance is 2.7 ohm at 100 degree Celsius. Then find alpha value. So, this is the question. So, it is a question of two resistances and two temperature values. So, I can use alpha formula directly as alpha is equals to R2 minus R1 divided by R1 T2 minus R2 T1. So, that is the formula I can use, because two resistance values given, two temperatures given, directly I can use this formula. Now, R2 minus R1. So, R2 is 2.7 minus R1 is 2.1 divided by R1 T2. So, R1 T2 R2 T1. So, 2.1 into 100, that is 210 minus 27.5 into 2.7, and this is the value. Then 2.7 minus 2.1 will get 0.6 divided by 210 minus this value 27.5 into 2.7. So, simplifying this, you will get the value of alpha as 0.039 per degree Celsius. That is the answer. Just simplifying this, you will get the value, that is 0.039 per degree Celsius. So, this is the concept of temperature coefficient of resistance. So, remember, so today we discussed the temperature coefficient of resistivity and temperature coefficient of resistance, the formulas for alpha in different cases. So, let me write the formulas for alpha. So, first formula, alpha is equals to R minus R naught into T, and when two temperatures given, this is the formula, that is R2 minus R1 by R1 T2 minus R2 T1. And another formula I told you is when resistance is given as a function of temperature, you can calculate alpha as 1 by R into dr by dt. So, these are different formulas for temperature coefficient of resistance, and that is all for today's class.